Listen up, Chicago. While everybody was out here celebrating that wild win over Cincinnati, there's something nobody is talking about that could change everything for this team. Our star linebacker is back in the training room again, and if you think that's no big deal, you're dead wrong. Because without him, this defense falls apart like a sandcastle at high tide. But that's not all. We've got a rookie wide receiver caught up in some family drama on social media, and his dad is out here asking for a trade. Can you believe that? And just when you thought we were done, I've got draft news that could fix our biggest defensive issue. A prospect that's got scouts losing their minds, and guess what? He might fall right into our lap. 3 explosive stories that are going to shape the future of these Bears. If you bounce now, you're gonna regret it. Smash that like button if you want to see Chicago in the playoffs, hit subscribe if you believe Poles knows what he's doing, and stick around till the end because what's coming is straight up dynamite. After years of watching this team get gashed on the ground, after entire seasons where any average running back could torch us, we finally had something working. We finally had a defense that could stop the run. And now, right when we need it most, all of that is in jeopardy because of one man's health. TJ Edwards' status is up in the air again, and let me tell you this, without that guy on the field, this Chicago defense is a total mess. Edwards hasn't practiced a single day this week because of a hamstring issue. And if you think that doesn't matter, let me hit you with the numbers nobody is talking about. Remember how we started this season? Remember those first 4 games where every team ran the ball on us like we were a high school defense? I know we all want to forget those games, but we need to remember them to understand just how crucial TJ Edwards is. When Edwards was out or playing hurt early in the season, this defense was giving up 164.5 rushing yards per game. 164. Let me say that again because it's insane. 164 rushing yards per game. We were the worst run defense in the entire NFL. Dead last. In a league with 32 teams, we were number 32. That's unacceptable for a franchise with Chicago's defensive legacy. This is the city of the monsters of the Midway. This is the city of Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Mike Singletary. This is a city where defense is religion. And we were letting teams run all over us like it was nothing. But since Edwards came back fully healthy after the Week 6 bye, you know how much we're giving up? 97.7 yards per game. 97.7. We've jumped from dead last to 25th. Still not great, I'll admit it, but that's a huge improvement. That's nearly 67 fewer yards per game. That's the difference between losing and winning close games. And you know what's even more impressive? Edwards isn't just a tackler. He's not just a guy who fills gaps. He's the brain of this defense. He's the one lining everybody up. He's the one reading plays before they happen. He's the guy who makes Tremaine Edmonds look better. He's the guy who lets our defensive ends like Montez Sweat focus on getting after the quarterback without worrying about backs slipping through the middle. Dennis Allen knows it. Matt Eberflus knows it. Ryan Poles knows it. That's why they gave him that contract. That's why they trusted him to lead this defense. And now, right when we need him most, he's hurt again. And here's the real problem, Chicago. This Sunday we're facing the New York Giants and their quarterback Jackson Dart, a guy who can run. And the last time we faced a mobile QB, we lost to Baltimore and Tyler Huntley ran all over us. And guess what? We had Edwards that day and still couldn't stop him. Huntley ran for 62 yards in that game. 62. A backup quarterback ran for 62 yards on us. And that was with TJ Edwards on the field. Now imagine what could happen if Edwards isn't out there. Dart has 4 games this season with over 50 rushing yards. He's 7th among all quarterbacks in rushing yards with 287 in 9 games, for spots ahead of our own Caleb Williams. This guy is a legit threat with his legs, and we've got a long history of struggling against mobile quarterbacks. Dennis Allen said it plain as day in his press conference this week. You can have perfect coverage, but if your rush lanes break down, he's going to run for first downs. The offense's job is to stay on the field, keep drives alive, and score points. His legs give them the ability to do that a lot. That's a big part of what we're going to have to deal with. And you know what scares me most? Allen is admitting this publicly. When a defensive coordinator says something like that out loud, you know it's serious. I think Edwards is absolutely critical for this game. Without him, Dart's going to do whatever he wants with his legs. With him, we've got a shot at keeping him in the pocket where he belongs. The difference between having Edwards or not is literally the difference between winning and losing this game. But here's the question nobody is asking. Why does Edwards keep getting hurt? This is the third hamstring issue this season. 3 times in 9 weeks. That's not bad luck, Chicago. That's a pattern. That's a workload management issue, or a conditioning issue, or a recovery issue. Is the Bears medical staff doing their job? Is Edwards being honest about how he feels? Or is he trying to tough it out because he knows this defense desperately needs him? Let me ask you, how many times have we seen this defense fall apart when one key piece is missing? Because I've seen enough to know that without Edwards, we're in serious trouble. And if he tries to play hurt and makes it worse, then we're really in trouble because we could lose him for the rest of the season. This is a lose-lose situation. If he doesn't play, we probably lose to the Giants. If he plays hurt, we might lose him long-term. What do we do, Chicago? If that shocked you, wait till you hear this. And if you thought that was it, buckle up. Because while we were all celebrating that epic 47-42 win over Cincinnati, while Caleb Williams was making history with his performance, while DJ Moore was catching everything thrown his way, there was one rookie wide receiver sitting quietly, watching the game pass him by. Rome Odunze, our rookie wideout who was the 9th overall pick in the 2024 draft, is right in the middle of a family drama that's got the whole city buzzing. And let me tell you this, the way he handled it tells me everything I need to know about this kid. After that wild win over Cincinnati, Odunze didn't catch a single pass. 0 receptions on 3 targets while the offense was going off. 47 points scored, and our top draft pick at receiver had no impact. 0. Nada. And while the rest of us were celebrating, his dad, James Odunze, was on Twitter reposting a message asking for his son to be traded to a team that throws him the ball. Can you believe that? In the middle of a huge win, we've got family drama on social media. Now before everyone starts dragging Rome's dad, let me say this, I get the frustration. As a parent, he sees his son, a generational talent, an All-American at Washington, a Biletnikoff Award winner, a top 10 pick, getting ignored in the offense. I get that. But here's the thing, Chicago, this ain't college football. This ain't Washington where Rome was the guy. This is the NFL. This is Chicago. And in this offense, we've got DJ Moore, we've got Keenan Allen when he's healthy, we've got Cole Kmet, we've got DeAndre Swift coming out of the backfield. There are a lot of mouths to feed. And you know what else? Rome Odunze leads this team in receiving yards with 473. He leads the team in touchdowns with 5. His 31 catches are tied for first with Olamide Zaccheaus. This kid is not being ignored. He had one bad game. One. But here's what impressed me. What made me respect Rome Odunze even more. His response was perfect. When reporters asked him about his dad's comments, Rome said, "I don't make a big deal out of it. Obviously, he has his opinions and I have mine. He speaks for himself. I speak for myself." That maturity, Chicago, that's the kind of maturity we need on this team. A 23-year-old kid fresh out of college, living his NFL dream, has one bad game and handles the family drama with total class. No throwing his dad under the bus. No creating more drama. No making it about him. At the end of the day, he's a fan of Rome, Odunze said about his dad. He's fully supportive of Rome Odunze. But I love my dad. You hear that maturity? You hear that composure? I think this situation could have blown up into something way worse. We've seen family drama tear locker rooms apart in this league. We've seen parents cause so much chaos that teams end up cutting or trading talented players just to get rid of the distraction. Remember LeVar Ball and what he did to Lonzo in the NBA? Remember how that constant drama affected Lonzo's career? I think Rome saw that and said, "That's not gonna be me. I'm gonna handle this with class." And here's what nobody is saying. Ben Johnson, our offensive coordinator, probably already had a plan to get Rome more involved. He was probably already watching film thinking, we need to get this kid more touches. But now, with this drama, do you think that speeds things up or makes Johnson more cautious? I'll tell you this, if I were Ben Johnson, I'd be more motivated to get Rome the ball. Why? Because Rome handled this like a pro. Rome didn't stir up drama. Rome didn't run to Twitter to complain. Rome didn't go to the media demanding more targets. Rome simply said, "I speak for myself, my dad speaks for himself." That's leadership, Chicago. That's what we want on this team. But here's the reality, Rome Odunze needs more targets. Not because his dad said so, but because he's our best young receiver and we need to develop him for the future. Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze need to build chemistry. They need reps. They need to develop that connection they didn't have in college. Oh wait, they didn't play together in college. That's another reason they need more reps. The Giants have the 28th ranked pass defense in the NFL. They're giving up 245.4 passing yards per game. If there's ever a perfect time for Odunze to bounce back and shut the critics up, it's this Sunday. If there's ever a time for Ben Johnson to draw up plays specifically for Rome, it's against this weak Giants secondary. Let me ask you, how many 23-year-old rookies would handle this kind of pressure with that much class? How many rookies would have the maturity to not throw their dad under the bus while still making it clear he speaks for himself? Because I haven't seen many. And here's my prediction, Rome Odunze is going to have a big game against the Giants. He's going to catch 6 to 8 passes for over 100 yards and a touchdown. Why am I so confident? Because that's the kind of player he is. Because that's the mindset he's got. Because when the pressure's on, the great ones show up. And you know what's going to happen after that game? His dad's going to tweet something positive, we're all going to forget this drama, and we'll move on. Because that's how it works when you handle things with maturity. This is a lesson for every young person watching. How you handle adversity, how you handle drama, how you handle pressure, that's what defines your character. And Rome Odunze just showed us he's got the character to be a star in this league. But now comes the really wild part. Now here's where things get really wild, Chicago. While everyone's focused on this season, while everyone's debating whether we're playoff bound, while the talk is all about Caleb Williams and the offense, Ryan Poles is already thinking ahead. And a new name just popped up that could solve our biggest defensive issue for the next decade. Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M. Remember that name because he could be the next edge rusher for the Chicago Bears. And when you see his numbers, when you watch his tape, when you see what he's doing against the best competition in the SEC, you'll understand why everyone's buzzing about this kid. After years of watching this team struggle to get pressure on the quarterback, after seasons where we relied on Khalil Mack to do everything, after watching Robert Quinn leave, after watching Roquan Smith get traded, we finally have Montez Sweat. But Sweat can't do it alone. He needs help. He needs a guy on the other side who can win one-on-ones. And Cassius Howell might be that guy. PFF has the Bears taking him in their latest mock draft. Now, we don't know exactly where we'll be picking. We're currently sitting at pick 18, but if Howell is still on the board when it's our turn, Ryan Poles needs to sprint to the podium. Why? Let me show you the numbers. Howell leads the SEC, the best conference in college football, with 9.5 sacks this season. 9.5 in just 9 games. He's on pace to break records at Texas A&M. He's got an 89.4 pass rush grade from PFF, which is elite. And he's got a win rate of 24.7% on pass rushes, one of the highest in all of college football. To put that in perspective, a 20% win rate is considered good. 22 is very good. 24 and up? That's elite. This guy is winning nearly 1 out of every 4 matchups against the best defensive tackles in the country. But here's where the controversy comes in, Chicago. And I know some of y'all are going to have concerns when you hear this. Howell is 6'2" and weighs 250 pounds. That's not big for an NFL defensive end. Most edge rushers are 6'4", 6'5", and weigh around 260 to 270. And there are reports that his arms might measure under 31 inches at the combine, which isn't ideal for an edge rusher. Dennis Allen usually prefers bigger, longer defensive ends, guys who can set the edge against the run and also get after the passer. Howell is more of an outside linebacker, known more for his pass rush than his run defense. And I know what some of you are thinking, Miguel, you just spent 10 minutes talking about how we can't stop the run, and now you want us to draft a guy who's not great against the run? But I'm telling you, who cares about measurables when offensive tackles can't even touch him? Watch the tape. Watch what Howell does on the field. His ghost move is unreal. His burst off the line is next level. His ability to bend the edge is like nothing I've seen from a college prospect in years. Offensive tackles literally can't get their hands on him because he's too fast, too explosive, too technical. Trevor Sakima from PFF said it best, even though his arm length is reportedly well below NFL standards, it hasn't stopped him from producing. His explosiveness and flexibility make him a coveted pass rusher. And here's what people don't get about the draft. Sometimes good players are just good players, and you find a way to make it work. Sometimes measurables don't matter as much as actual production on the field. Want an example? Look at Will Campbell from the Patriots. drafted 4th overall this year. Short arms like a T-Rex. Every expert said it'd be a problem. And guess what? He's allowed just 5 sacks and 3 QB hits this season playing left tackle, the most important spot on the O-line. The Patriots don't regret that pick. Want another example? Look at Shamar Stewart, Howell's teammate at Texas A&M. Stewart has all the perfect measurables. 6'4", 280, long arms, tested like a freak at the combine last year. And how many sacks does he have this season? 0. 4 tackles, 0 sacks. Measurables mean nothing if you don't produce. I think if Howell is there when the Bears pick, Poles won't hesitate. And he shouldn't, because our championship hopes depend on improving that pass rush. Look at what happened in last year's Super Bowl. The Chiefs won because their D-line dominated the 49ers. Look at when the Rams won it. Aaron Donald and Von Miller wrecked Joe Burrow. Look at when the Bucs won. Their D-line made life hell for Patrick Mahomes. You think we can win a Super Bowl with our current pass rush? Let me ask you, when's the last time a team won it all without a dominant defensive line? You can't name one, because it doesn't exist. Montez Sweat is good. Sweat is really good. But he needs help. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka was a 7th-round flyer at the trade deadline, but we need more than that. We need a first-round edge rusher who can change games, who can create pressure on his own, who can force quarterbacks into bad throws. And here's what I love about the idea of drafting Howell. Imagine a D-line with Montez Sweat on one side, Cassius Howell on the other, and a fully healthy Jervin Dexter in the middle. Imagine Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards cleaning up behind them. Imagine Jalen Johnson and Tariq Stevenson in coverage with extra time because the QB is under pressure. That's a defense that can win a championship, Chicago. That's a defense that can take this team to the next level. But here's the question nobody is asking. Will Howell still be on the board when the Bears pick? Because if we keep winning games, if we finish 10-7 or 11-6 and make the playoffs, we'll be picking in the 20s. And Howell might go top 15. So what do? Do we want to lose games now to get a better pick? Of course not. But that's the reality of the draft. The better you play, the worse your draft position. I think Ryan Poles is already thinking about this. I think Poles already has his list of prospects. And I think if Howell's not available, Poles has a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D. Because that's the kind of GM he is. That's the kind of planning he does. But if I had to bet, if I had to put money on it, I'd bet Ryan Poles finds a way to land an elite edge rusher in this draft. Whether it's Howell, whether it's TJ Parker from Clemson, who was also mentioned in that same mock draft, or someone else, Poles is gonna address this need. Because Poles knows that to win in this league, you've got to pressure the quarterback. And to pressure the quarterback, you need elite edge rushers. It's that simple. So there you have it, Chicago. 3 stories that are going to shape the short-term and long-term future of these Bears. First, TJ Edwards and his health. Can our leader at linebacker get healthy in time to stop Jackson Dart this Sunday? Or are we about to see another defensive meltdown like we did early in the season? I want to know, do you think Edwards should play hurt, or should we sit him and risk losing to the Giants to protect him long-term? Second, Rome Odunze and the family drama. Is our rookie wideout going to silence the critics and go off against the weak Giants defense? Or are we in for more social media drama? I'm asking you, did Odunze handle this the right way, or should he have stood up more for his role in the offense? And third, Cassius Howell and the future of our pass rush. Is this Texas A&M prospect the answer to our quarterback pressure problems? Or should we be looking for a bigger, more traditional defensive end? I want to know. Are you ready for Poles to draft another edge rusher in the first round, or would you rather we go after another position? Drop your answers in the comments because this community, this Bears family, is what makes this channel special. We're not just fans watching videos, we're a tribe that lives and breathes navy blue and orange. We are the voice of Chicago in the NFL world. And speaking of family, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? We're more than a YouTube channel, we're a community of passionate fans who love these Bears just like you do. Tomorrow we've got more explosive Bears news, deep analysis on the Giants game, and everything you need to stay informed like the true Bears fan you are. Hit like if you believe we're making the playoffs this season. Subscribe if you trust Ryan Poles and the direction of this organization. And turn on that bell because this season is just getting started, and you do not want to miss what's coming for Chicago. I guarantee you tomorrow we'll have a full breakdown of the Giants game, updates on TJ Edwards' health, and more draft news that's gonna blow your mind. This is the season we've been waiting for, Chicago. This is the season where everything changes. Bear down, family. This is Miguel Morales, and I'll see you in the next video. The Bears.